I called brother Mohammed. I just came. Actually, I was in Nevada from Sin City.
He, he was doing that one in Sin City, mashallah.
Yeah, and the topic actually very important, especially now. It will be worse.
Worse. Wow, that's
After September 11, we're facing this problem, and not only that, two people try to kill me with the machine guns. Try to kill me after September 11, and I supposed to give a lecture in the church. And they threatened me, if you enter the church, we're going to kill you and kill you. But still, I went to the church. Yeah. My point, brother and sister, when this important topic. But one before we start, again, an ayah from Allah Azza wa Jal. Allah, Surah Al-Imran, يقول الله عز وجل كنتم خير أمة أخرجت للناس. You are a Muslim, the best nation that Allah Azza wa Jal has raised. The best nation, us as a Muslim. That's why Shaitan, the war about Islam since Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and since he become a prophet, 4 years exactly, the fitna about Islam, the war about Islam, and now especially is more war and more problems. But another hadith before brother Muhammad speak, inshallah, was this very important topic, and when he told me, I prepare myself also to speak, inshallah. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, أشد الناس ابتلاء الأنبياء. The most people hardship and calamity at the Prophet. ثم الأمثل فالأمثل, and less people and less. The end of the hadith جميعا على قدر دينك تبتلى. According to your deen, have hardship and calamity. I have my strong iman. I believe in Allah. I follow the Sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Listen to Sunnahfollowers. Our iman clean and strong, and that is our life.
Yeah, the closer you are, the harder it gets.
Now, brother Muhammad, inshallah, gonna add some more ayat and hadith, and we're gonna share with this, and it's very important, and not plus the number two is very important. Whoever listen to us in Sunnahfollowers right now, you have to share this talk, very important talk. Why? This is the era we are right now, Trump era. It's going to be more problems the Muslim. As far as you are a Muslim, you are in trouble in this country. Not in this country.
Well, and
all over the world.
All over the world becomes hard to go anywhere.
Exactly.
And it's hard to beat what's happening right now with us as Muslim people, right?
Because it's our country.
You know what? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, because what I've noticed is and this is kind of just my own, take on what's happening and what's going on in the world and how the gears are shifting. And what I've noticed is the more people that have been converting to Islam,
yes,
right, the more people have been looking at what's happening, what's watching. They're watching, they're seeing, they're researching, they're looking, they're watching the da'wah channels on YouTube, and people are coming to Islam. So the more people that come to Islam, the more fear from the other side becomes.
Oh.
And so if you know history is always bound to repeat itself, right? You say, we talk about what happened on 9/11 and how they hated us during that time, and they hated anybody who looked like us or anybody who might have been part of that or who might look like a Muslim. Or
it doesn't matter what color.
It doesn't matter. The ignorance takes over, right? The hate takes over on certain people. And my biggest issue that I've been seeing during Ramadan and before, and even now after, is that the racism that we have in the world, around the world, it's prevalent within our own neighborhoods, within our own communities, right? And so I always think to myself, okay, we already have enough people hating us on the outside. Why do we have to hate each other on the inside? Right? When I see that, when I say with love, I always say we're Muslims. I don't care where you're from. When we talk about this a lot on the other episodes, we talked about racism a little bit here and there. But it's so weird how right now, when we see what's happening overseas, we're Muslims, and we're all we're Muslims. But then when it comes down to the masjids, or when it comes down to the Islamic schools, or when it comes down to anything else, it's he's a black Muslim, or he's a Pakistani Muslim, or he's a Palestinian. No, he's a Muslim. She's a Muslim.
Oh, slogan is a Muslim.
So I don't, I always kind of try to remind people that this racism that we're involved with and within our own community, it's a learned behavior. We've learned that. right? We've learned that from our parents, from our grandparents, from the TV screens, because we watch TV just like everybody else watches TV.
But brother, here I wrote something very important. And after September 11,
Mhm.
and now become increased actually. Number one, a lot of people lost their jobs.
So September 11th was a different type of racism. It was built on fear.
No, since September.
Yeah,
11.
since September 11th, that was built on fear.
Yes.
Right? People were afraid of us.
Yes.
Right? Not just not the upper people, the rich people, the regular everyday Joe people were afraid. Now we have a different type of racism where the people on top, the people who are in charge of everything, they're seeing all these people converting to Islam, and they're starting to get worried.
Well, yes.
I mean, the more Muslims you have in your country, the less alcohol is going to be sold, the less haram is going to be out there. They're afraid, they're scared, so they're trying to instill that fear. They're trying to push that agenda of racism on people to already, push even harder so people can be more afraid of Muslims. And if you're afraid of Muslims and you're a convert or you're a revert, you don't want to be a Muslim anymore.
Some people left Islam
because you're scared.
The names.
Yeah, because you're scared.
Yes.
And so we have that on the outside. People hate us. People don't like us. People, and I'm not talking about regular everyday people. The people on top don't like what we are, what we represent. And again, we go back to we're not built for this world, right? We're always.
I love this.
We're always trying to, make our akhirah better, right? Yeah. And so we forget that our main goal for us as Muslims is that we're supposed to support each other, help each other, and make sure that we each go to the dunya. Like that we want to go to the akhirah. We want to have a good afterlife. And so how do you do that? Or how do you prepare for the next life?
Yes. Actually, that mission is very, very strong.
It's very, very strong. And they know that. See, that's the thing that people don't realize. And I talk to the kids all the time. Like, our parents messed up, your parents messed up, the older generation messed up. They fell for that trap of racism. Right? They fell for that. And we have to break that cycle within our own community. I don't care where you're from. I don't care if you're black, white, tan, Chinese. And one of the things that I've really learned during Ramadan, not just for myself, but the people I was bringing into these masjids, the people I was bringing to the iftar dinners, the police officers, the deputies, these guys that have never been involved.
Oh, yes.
And never really went to a masjid or never really went and surrounded themselves by Muslims. They were saying things to me like, hey, man, there's a Chinese guy right there. Why is there a Chinese guy praying like you guys pray? Why is there a black guy praying with you guys? Why is there, and they were asking these questions. And they didn't realize, they didn't know. They thought like Muslims were just Arabs.
Arab.
and I said, no, that's the least amount of
Muslims. Minority, yes.
We're the minority.
Arab minority, yes.
They just posted on TV that we're the majority.
Yeah.
But that's not true. And so it became a conversation that these people wanted to have, but they never had a way of opening up to somebody because they're always afraid to talk. And that's one of the things that I'm trying to explain to the kids is all it takes is just a regular conversation.
Yes.
Right. You have to sit down with somebody. You talk to them. You break all the stigmas that they heard. And it was amazing that the questions that you have was like, well, if I wanted to be a Jewish person, I couldn't, right? Well, you have to ask that, to a rabbi. You can't ask me that question because I don't know too much, but ask a rabbi what it takes to be a Jew. Will they accept you? I don't know. But as Muslims, we're not allowed to be racist against somebody. It doesn't matter if you're black. It doesn't matter if you're white. It doesn't matter if you're Chinese. And the guy said to me, the one deputy guy was like, bro, you guys are just all praying together like you guys know each other.
Yes. Yes.
And I said, what's funny is when we're praying, we know we're not praying to each other. We're praying to God.
Yes.
Right. And we all want to have that conversation.
Line up. And we have a leader.
And he asked that question. The other one was like, the last place we went to, there was another guy leading the prayer. How do you pick who reads the prayers? Who's the one who leads? Who's the priest? And and it was these questions that these people always wanted to ask.
Yes.
But never had a chance to ask anybody.
Yeah, we had more serious problem.
And so it goes back to that because a lot of times they say like we were always afraid. We're always afraid because on TV it shows that you guys are always angry or you guys don't like this country. You don't like. And so that's like where you break that cycle of racism. Let me explain to you guys what Muslims are all about. And when you break that with the people on the outside, that's great. They learn, they're educating, it's dawah, it's fine. But then when you come back into your masjid, and then it's within your own community,
Yeah, there's cracks.
come on, that's
But-
not fair.
Something very important, brother, and this for Sunnahfollowers, social media here. A lot of problem now for Muslims in education.
Yeah.
Schools, schools, brother and sister, the serious problem here we are facing since September 11 become worse, and now, especially now, more worse and more worse. So we this question for Mohammed, because he go many schools, Muslim schools and non-Muslim schools. But how really for our kids in the school, how to protect yourself from their identity as a Muslim? I want our kids, boys and girls, actually to be, I am a Muslim, not only that I am proud to be a Muslim.
And that I think comes from your parents, from your confidence, from your
parents. There's parents and there's a parent. A man, but sometimes this is to take care of the kids. No husband, divorce or the widow or something like that.
Man or woman, doesn't matter. You still have to be understanding that we are the best of the people.
And Allah mentioned it. Yeah, Allah mentioned that.
Allah mentioned that. It's in the Quran, and you have to understand that if the world is against us, there's a reason for that, right? And understand the reasons behind the way, why, and what they're doing, and why they're doing what they're doing. More people are converting like crazy. Like
after what happened in Gaza,
after what happens going on in Palestine, that people are researching, people are reading, people are understanding, and these people are converting. How come the people who are reverts, who are coming to Islam, are more proud to be Muslims than the Muslims that are born Muslims? And so you have to ask yourself, okay, I was born a Muslim. I'm afraid now. Let me hide my identity. Let me be scared. Let me just kind of settle down. No. You're a Muslim. Be proud of it. Explain. Don't be cocky. Don't be extreme. Don't be rude. And that's one of the things I always tell the other kids as well too. Is when you have people come in and ask you questions, they're not going to come and ask you a question if you're having that mean look or that aggressive nature of the way you present yourself. Present yourself as a Muslim.
Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he always smiled. He always smiled, and he listened and listened and listened, and then he give the answer.
Yeah, absolutely.
He never speak immediately or argue.
Absolutely.
Argument actually, any of that argument, you lose. Both of them to lose the battle.
You will, because you'll always have those people that say, "Well, I heard that you guys are always terrorists, or you guys are always, wanting to destroy, and you don't like our way of life on the West, then you don't like this stuff." And so that's when you smile and you just listen. You just listen to what they're saying. Let them spew all that stuff. Let them say all that stuff, because they've been holding it in. A lot of these people have been holding all this stuff in.
Yes.
And so now they have the right to say it. They feel like it's their time, right? Because you have this new president, you have this new era, you have this new freedom of speech that now I can say whatever I want to say. So let them say, because I've seen videos online where these hijabi girls are going out and they're maybe having coffee with each other, and then you got a guy who sees a bunch of hijabis and starts going off on them. And you see this girl saying, what do you know about Islam? Why are you so hate? Why do you have so much hate in your heart? Why do you have so much anger? And some of them come out really well. They're very well-spoken women. They know how to talk. But then some of them are very aggressive, and some of them are very, we wish bad on you. God, hopefully God will punish you. And no, don't talk like this.
Yes.
Don't go back and forth with anger. That's not how we communicate. Especially when you have somebody like that who has been holding all this aggression in his body for this long, and now he feels like he could say it or she can say it. Let them say what they gotta say and just smile.
Yeah.
And you want to have a conversation? Okay, let's have a conversation, but don't engage somebody who's having that loud tone, that loud. All right, I'm glad you feel that way. You're allowed to feel that way. You live in America, you live in Europe, whatever country you're living in. But I'm not going to engage in that kind of behavior.
But the key, brother Muhammad, we have to be a real brother and sister.
Yes.
And it doesn't matter about color. Yeah, Allah said, Surah Al-Hujurat, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. يا أيها الناس, يا أيها الذين آمنوا, believer.
Yeah.
يا أيها الناس, all mankind.
All mankind.
يا أيها الناس, إنا خلقناكم من ذكر وأنثى وجعلناكم شعوبا وقبائل لتعارفوا. We create you all mankind, not Muslims, all mankind, We created male from male and female. حواء and Adam عليه السلام. وجعلناكم شعوبا, nation, وقبائل, tribes. To what? To know each other.
Get to know
We
each other.
love each other, respect each other as far as we are Muslim.
Yeah.
And he said, in the best people have a taqwa. Inna akramakum. There is taqwa, fear of Allah. He is the best one. And no one knows the taqwa except Allah.
And I think
I can't judge myself.
We forget that. I think our students, our kids forget that we forget that we fear Allah. We don't fear these people. Right? We don't fear these people. We don't, whatever happened in colleges, whatever's happened in the schools, whatever, all the stuff that's happening, it's happening for a reason. Right? And we always say there's always something good that comes out of something bad. So we all kind of understand that if I wasn't meant to be here, then maybe I'm supposed to be somewhere else. Maybe Allah's pushing me somewhere else to do something else, or maybe Allah wants me to fight and get my story out there.
But the key for our kids, for our whoever go to schools and university,
don't be afraid.
The number one, as you say, the parents, mom or dad. Sometimes you have separation between husband and wife, but whoever in charge is very, very important to put the seeds of Islam and fear of Allah in the heart of the kids. Not Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَجَادِلْهُمْ بِالَّتِي هِيَ أَحْسَنُ, with the mothers, understand the mentality of the kids. Plus Ali رضي الله عنه قال خاطبوا الناس على قدر عقولهم. People according to their mentality.
Yeah, absolutely.
That child,
talk to a child, comes out
to his limit. A teenager come to his limit. صح, the parents, yes, you have a respect, but hard for our kids to have a respect actually or listen to the parents.
But the thing is this: when you're in a college or you're in a school and you're in university, you're not the only Muslim there.
Yes,
and this is when
not even him only.
Yeah, and so when you have a community that of Muslims, and if you're following the deen the right way, you throw all that racism out the window. You're a Muslim. We have to protect each other. We have to help each other. We have to stand with each other. We have to help each other. And if you're one of those Muslims that has that confidence in yourself and has confidence in being a Muslim, then and you see the people around you, the Muslims around you who are scared, who are afraid, who are nervous, who listen to the way these kids talk, listen to the way what's in their tone, the sadness or the fear, and you're that one Muslim who's a strong Muslim, who has strong in his faith, who has fear of Allah. Use that. Yes. Use that confidence to kind of flood the other people with it. Right, share that.
Yeah, very important, brother and sister here, Sunnahfollowers especially. It's very, very important for your kids to be in Tuesday class with Brother Mohammed to get this kind of advices. By the way, Brother Mohammed, you go to church or synagogues or this area, there's money with that. We do this free. We try to make our community strong nation. Because we are strong, we will never be defeated.
You have to, and that's what they're afraid of.
Yes,
and that's what and people don't realize this, and Muslims don't realize this. And I wish I could speak to all the Muslims in the world and explain to them we have what they fear: unity, right? And we don't care about the colors. We don't care about where you're from. We don't care about Lebanon, and we're from Lebanon. We're from this. We're from Iraq. That doesn't matter. We're Muslims. We're one people. We're supposed to be together. We're supposed to help each other out. And I think we forget that along the way, where we let this dunya, this world, kind of change our ideas of, we're Muslims, we are, but do we really believe that we're Muslims? Are we really proud to be who we are?
Proud is the key.
And you can say it, you can act like it, but are you really feeling it?
And the key, feel it and act
at the same time.
Yes, act.
You have to be, and I notice a lot of times, genuine. Right? It's hard to find people who are very genuine and really caring and really want to help the community. Very hard, unless you pay them, right? People want to get paid for what they do, and it's hard to find anybody like that.
But whether you're born here, I born in Gaza, in Palestine. Some people actually, when we born, we come to America, become like an American citizen.
Of course, you forget.
But you have completely different mentality. Also, our kids born here and our kids coming from different countries, especially after Syria, a lot of people come here. This is also, we want to encourage our not only even the parents. We need advice for all the parents to encourage your kids. Do not be afraid. Be a Muslim.
So when you talk about people who are coming from other countries, and not just Muslims, I'm talking about Hispanic people,
Yes,
Haitians, whatever, anybody who comes from overseas and comes to these westernized, Western countries, whether it's here or Canada or Europe, we're always told to assimilate, right? Just act like everybody else. Just be like everybody else. That's what we're kind of told, growing up, and just don't talk Arabic or don't talk, your language. Don't, change your accent. Don't talk a certain way. Talk like them, because you don't want to like be different. You want to be like everybody else. Well, we're not like everybody else.
no.
And that's one of the things I kind of stress on the parents a lot is we're not like everybody else. We're not like them, and they're not like us. They don't understand that. When you talk to somebody or the kids and say, well, they're all eating pepperoni pizza, so I'm going to eat pepperoni pizza like them. Well, we don't eat pork. There's a reason why we don't eat pork. Let me, yes, it says in the Quran, but let me explain to you why we don't eat pork. And let me talk to you about the science behind it. Why? Well, just because Allah said no, what does that mean? Why? Well, Allah knows better than anybody else because Allah created us. But science shows us that when you eat pork, this is what happens.
Diseases,
right?
not diseases.
Yeah, there's so many.
Yeah.
And then you hear the kids at college. Well, they're all going to the bar and they're all going to drink. So I just want to be like them. That's what my parents taught me. My parents taught me to be like them. Well, no, we're not them. And well, why can't we drink? Well, just because Allah says yes, Allah says don't drink, but Allah says also there's a reason for it. Allah knows why He said
yes.
And again, I explain to the kids, if Allah started trying to put everything in the Quran of the reasons why He's saying don't do this and don't do that, you'd have a book that's huge, and nobody's going to want to read that book. And that's why we have all these other books out here that explain these things. So I explain to the kids, what's the first question that you get asked when you go to a doctor? Do you drink or smoke? So why are the doctors asking you that question? Why don't you drink? Well, do you drink or smoke? Because they know if you drink alcohol, there's a certain reason why they got to check certain parts of your body. So you explain to the kids, this is a reason why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us.
Subhanallah.
And science is catching up to the Quran.
You're right. Every time you go to the doctor, the third number question, you smoke, you drink.
Yeah.
I just.
Yeah. So you tell these kids with the younger kids, you explain about, you talk like you said on their level, right? And when you go to college, it's all about drinking, partying, and doing this thing. So you have to be as a college kid, as a high school kid, understand that you're a Muslim. There's a reason why they're fighting you. There's a reason why they're trying to push it. There's an agenda behind why they don't like us and the people up on top. There's a reason why people are converting to Islam like there's no tomorrow. People are converting so fast. And so now they don't have, 9/11 anymore. So they got to do something else. And they're going to make it where they're trying to separate people because they know it's an easier way to control people if you divide them. Yes, you'll have a whole millions and millions and millions of Muslims, but then let's divide the Muslims. Because if all the Muslims come together, they don't know what's going to happen.
Yes, they're afraid.
So let's make it where we have a black Muslim masjid over here. Let's have it where there's a Pakistani masjid over here. Let's have it where an Arab masjid is over here, a Guyanese masjid over here. Like we have different masjids for different communities. No, a masjid is a masjid.
Yes, and regardless what nationality and the school of thought.
I think a lot of our parents or maybe even the kids, they believe like one of the questions that Allah's going to ask you when you go is, were you a Pakistani or a Palestinian? Is that one of the questions? I don't know. You know the Quran better than me. Is that one of the questions that we get asked when we die?
The number one about Shahada.
About Shahada.
Salah. After Shahada, everybody in the gathering land, only Muslim. Non-Muslims in the hellfire. May Allah protect us.
Sure.
But in the gathering land, number one, Allah will ask us, of course, is our aqidah. Our aqidah number one. Salah, the prayer.
So he's not going to ask us if from Iraq or Iran or Antarctica or something.
Listen to this hadith of Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Number one, Bilal radiallahu ta'ala anhu. Bilal, what color of nationality of Bilal? A black. I was a slave and from Abyssinia. I mean Africa. I mean black. Bilal radiallahu anhu. إن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم conquered Mecca. Who was Rasulullah in Mecca? A lot of Sahaba, Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, Umar, the greatest of the Sahaba was Rasulullah. And his was a friend of Rasulullah, who? Abu Bakr as-Siddiq. Imagine this. Bilal make adhan in front of the Kaaba. And he came down to Kaaba, down. And Rasulullah make 2 rak'ah inside the Kaaba. 2 rak'ah. And who choose? The black man, the slave.
Yeah.
2 rak'ah. Not Abu Bakr Siddiq, his companion, his friend.
Mm-hmm.
He chose Bilal radiallahu ta'ala. Bilal again, the black one, Abu Dhar al-Ghafari, Abu Dhar al-Ghafari, first, he's the tribe of Ghifar, the tribe, he's the leader, the chief of Ghifar, the tribe of Ghifar. And he called Abu Dhar, Yabn al-Sawda. Your mom is black.
Yeah.
That insult.
Yeah.
And Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam قال إنك امرؤ فيك جاهلية. Rasulullah telling Abu Dhar al-Ghaffari, one of the greatest Sahaba, you have something ignorant. You have some ignorant.
Yeah.
Ignorant. And the moment he listened to this from Prophet Muhammad, you have something ignorant to say that, and put his cheek, his face to the ground, and he told the black Bilal, Ya Bilal, what you choose on the top of my face. That the adab of the Sahaba.
Yeah.
The minority, they love each other. Regardless of what color and nationality.
Doesn't matter. It doesn't
Yes.
matter. And that should have been the end of racism right there.
Yes.
But we still have it.
I understand the key. Alhamdulillah, we are a group here
Alhamdulillah.
in my Facebook and social media here. Brother, think about how to love and respect and honor each other. We are Muslims. Allah choose. Allah, again, the first ayah mentioned Surah Al-Imran, كنتم خير أمة أخرجت للناس. The best nation that Allah has subhanahu created, us. Us respect this kind of love, my dear brothers and sisters. And also, Rasulullah, the first and last Hajj, he gathered 120,000 in Arafat. But he said, Ya ayyuhan nas. That means that for everyone, all people, Inna rabbakum wahid, your Lord is one. Wa inna abakum wahid, your father Adam or I said, Inna abakum wahid, kullukum li Adam, wa Adam khulqa min turab. All of you belong to Adam. Allah created Adam from sand. As he said, لا فضل العربية على أعجمي. There is no superiority for Arab over non-Arab. ولا أعجمي على عربي. Non-Arab over Arab. ولا أحمر على أسود. The red person, color, and or black or red. إن أكرمكم عند الله. The most honorable, the one who have taqwa and fear of Allah. May Allah increase our taqwa. That's Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We have to listen to this, brother. We are really a family. Now, especially, we need to be united.
Absolutely.
We need to really love each other.
Especially with what's going on right now. With what's going on right now, we need to
yes,
help each other out. We need to back each other up. We need to support each other. We need to be one with each other.
Now, I put in front of here the question for everyone. كيف نواجه العنصرية? How to face the discrimination? And you born here. Different. I'm American and you are American. But you're American, born here. I'm American, I become American. Yeah. But how to facing that discrimination, colors, nationality, Islam, non-Muslims, and so on?
It's a very hard question to answer because everybody has a different personality, right?
I mean, every person
has a different personality.
Okay.
You can't. There's no one size fits all on how to address the situation, how to feel about a situation. What I really wanted to kind of express and with these guys and with everybody on here, I hope we have some imams and some sheikhs and some people that, religious leaders, maybe some board members from some of the masjids on this online to kind of explain that, like, when we have the non-Muslims coming to the masjids and we're all like, yeah, come on, salam, let's, we're super nice, we're super, good, we're super question, let's sit down, let's answer some questions. But then when our own brothers and sisters come into the masjid, or they come into the schools, or they come in and we're like, oh, you're from, and so when you have the inter racism inside your own community, this is where I think we need to kind of work on more. The outside racism, it's going to happen no matter what. We can't stop that. We can't stop people from hating you. You're always going to have somebody who watches certain things on YouTube. But us as a Muslim, we have to kind of keep close to each other, right? If you look at the other communities, I don't want to name names or say other, I'm hoping everybody understands what I'm talking about. When we look at the other communities and how close they are to each other, how they stay with each other, how they help each other, one's a millionaire, 30 more become a millionaire because they help each other rise up. Whereas for us, where it says help each other, we look at each other like, oh, you drive a 2008 piece of junk car, get away from me. Like we don't have that love that our Islam is supposed to, it has been taught teaching us. And so, the racism on the outside, smile with people, keep that positive attitude. Don't yell at somebody when they're yelling back at you. But when you're in the masjid and you're expecting to be one with with everybody, when you're coming into a masjid and then you feel that animosity, you feel that you don't fit in, right? Because I don't know a few, but I know I've walked into masjids before, and you get that feeling, right? That like, oh, this is not, I don't feel right in this masjid. There's something going on in this masjid. You don't know what it is. You just can't pinpoint what that issue is. But we all have that feeling when we walk into a masjid and you get that look, or you get a couple of stares from board members or from certain elders or from certain people. And you don't want that. That's not what Islam is all about. It's Islam is a religion of all people. And we embrace the people that are coming in when we do faith-based dinners, or we have these there's open houses, and we're so welcoming to everybody else on the outside. But when we have our own people who need help, we have all these college students who are afraid, and we look at them like, man, you're on your own. Sorry, Habibi, you can't help you. No.
Yes,
that's not the way.
Me, I mean, as an imam, I was facing this a lot. But Allah, give me attention, brother and sister. Allah يقول سورة نون وإنك لعلى خلق عظيم. Oh Muhammad, you are the great manners and etiquettes. The key of da'wah, the key of facing this kind of problem, to have morality. Adab, ikhlaq, morals is very important. The morality and adab and be polite is very, very important. That Prophet Muhammad, Allah said, you are the most have manners and etiquette. When he come to the people, Rasulullah, he never scream.
And I think people don't
except khutbah al-Jum'ah. By the way, we get angry if the imam become khutbah. Or somebody about aqidah, tawheed, he get angry that not scream. But khutbah al-Jum'ah, yes. I do that. And some people complain. I don't care about the one complain. But still, to make da'wah in a nice etiquette way, the way Prophet Muhammad.
Well, when you're doing your lectures and you raise your voice up, it keeps me awake. So keep going. Yeah, when you have that monotone voice as an imam, it puts people to sleep.
There's a question again. We're concentrate. كيف نواجه العنصرية? How to face the discrimination? Number one, the good morality, akhlaq, adab, manners and etiquettes, how to speak to the people, how to make da'wah, not to scream. No. Rasulullah, our model, Rasulullah, in a very modern way, nice way.
I'll go back and say also that
please,
not everybody has, like I said, not everybody has that personality to be calm, to be collect, to be cool.
Yes.
So if you're those people that don't have that capacity to control yourself, to control your anger, get yourself out of that situation. Right? Just get away from it, stay away from it, move on from it. And now I tell the kids also record what's happening. Put things on your phone. Make sure you have your phone ready to record everything that's happening, and make sure that you're not by yourself.
Yes.
Right. If you're going out and if you're hanging out with a group of people. Right. Hang out with your family, hang out with your friends, but hang out with a group of people. So there's somebody
righteous people. Righteous people.
Okay, they said racist people. No, not racist. Righteous people.
Yeah, they're very important.
Not racist people. He's saying righteous people.
Yeah.
Right. Righteous people, good people that are going to be able to protect you or help you.
Yes, exactly.
Because if we see something happening with our own brothers and sisters out in the community, we should be able to be, hey, let me step in and stop this. Let me step in and hey, sister, record this while we have this interaction. You have to have, especially now, with the way the climate is, you have to have things recorded. All right, you have to have every interaction that becomes potential to go to court, potential to go become legal, has a potential to get an arrest or something to happen. You have to have things recorded. You need that backup because it becomes your word versus their word, right? So the same thing I tell the kids when they go to the protests. Make sure you have a GoPro camera on top of your backpack. Make sure you're recording. Oh yeah, you have to record everything that happens because something might happen, and they're gonna say, "Well, he did it first, or she said this first," and then it's gonna be, "Well, I said, he said. After he said that, I said that. He said, she said," and it doesn't hold up in court.
Actually, Uber and Lyft now they have a camera.
Yeah, in the cars.
Yeah, 24 hours.
Yeah, of course, because you have to report everything that happens when it becomes an interaction like this, especially when it comes to racism, any type of aggression, any type of anger, any type of yelling or screaming. You have to, because it becomes a hate crime. Right, it becomes a hate crime if they do something to you. If that something ends up happening,
yes,
they can say whatever they want because freedom of speech and whatever. But once anything like I lay a hand on you or they touch you, now it becomes a hate crime.
And a sister actually in Detroit, a police, of course, she's not white, but with the scarf. The police call her, "What are you doing here?" Actually, with this story, actually, I was shocked. And she said, "Why are you asking this question? I've tried to find a place." I said, "Give me your ID." I said, "Why you give you my ID?" And then you're not applied. It make immediately catch her, go down to prison. And then after that, you find she was an FBI. She was an FBI, she arrested him after that.
Yeah.
The key, don't worry about those as far as in right path.
Yeah.
If you are right path, don't worry. Allah with you. May Allah be with all of us, my dear brothers and sisters. Also, Allah يقول ادعو إلى ربك ادعو إلى سبيل ربك بالحكمة والموعظة الحسنة. Allah ادعو بالدعوة بالحكمة with wisdom and with good manners and etiquette. That's the da'wah, great da'wah. Very important when you go the masjid. Actually, brother Mohammed, sometimes go to the masjid with colors, this, everyone, different nationality. No, we're supposed to be a family.
Yeah.
In the masjid, my masjid, alhamdulillah, every masjid I could involve, doesn't matter what nationality, the colors, we have to be a family.
Exactly.
A family.
Exactly.
And that's, but it's my masjid. The key, all the masjid is supposed to be like this.
And that stems from the imams, and that stems from the board members. I mean, it comes in a whole array of issues that can be solved if even the board members can make or break a masjid. Right?
I agree 100%.
And so if you have board members that are going to be racist or are going to be stubborn, a lot of times people don't even know that they're being racist, right? So you have to kind of like explain to them, listen, brother, that's not how Islam is. Let's talk about it in a different way. Let's explain how this is wrong, right? This is what you're saying is wrong. What you're doing is wrong. This is not an inclusive masjid when it comes to race. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this is a religion for everybody.
Yes, I agree with you. So, brother, it's a very important topic here. A lot of discrimination in daily basis, actually, in daily basis. But also, our kids is amana. We have to make our kids have some kind of belief, strong belief. May Allah guide our kids. Brother Muhammad, still when I speak the same question, we want to, especially for the kids now, we're facing this kind of discrimination. Especially black. They call it. I feel shy to pronounce.
No, it's all right.
Yeah, the black or now the people in white people. You are so and so with the colors. Color why he's with the glasses. He's small, but a lot of kids actually they lost their iman because they want to be something just like them. But they are corrupted people.
Yeah, big time.
But this corruption, we have how to face this corruption. Especially in corruption, school corruption, the number one curriculum, number one corrupted curriculum. Yeah. Number two, we want to save our community, our kids from this kind of corruption.
Well, I think we expect the school to teach our kids what we want them to learn, and that's not going to happen, right? You can't expect the school to teach your kids mannerisms. You can't expect the schools to teach your kids how to be a good Muslim. Even in Islamic schools, you have to be very, you have to be as a parent, you have to be very, even as a parent and a kid in Islamic school, you still have to instill those Islamic values into your own kids, right? If you look at the research studies way back when I was doing my things, they've done a lot of research where like they put a bunch of kids in rooms, black kids, white kids, Asian kids, and the kids didn't know any better. They were just playing, right? Kids at 2, 3, 4 years old, they don't know race, they don't know color, they don't see that stuff. They just want to have fun, they just want to play, they want to share their toys. So that kind of stuff is built in. It's a learned behavior. As kids,
learned behavior.
Yeah, as kids grow up, it's okay. What did my mom say about that black guy? What did my dad say about that the Asian guys? What did my and they pick up on those little subtle things. You might not think that your kids are listening. You might not think that your kids are hearing you, but they listen to all these things. So if you're a 3-year-old or a 4-year-old and you're in a room full of kids and you're not looking at eyes, color, whether he's Chinese or he's Indian, you don't look at that stuff. You just want to play. But then when you're going home and you're seeing the TV, you're watching the shows, you're listening to your parents talk, you're now as you're 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 years old, you start to have different little ideas.
We're not blaming the kids, blaming the parents.
We're blaming the fact that I don't think a lot of parents know that they're doing that, right? They don't believe that that's what they're doing.
Oh, ya Allah.
They don't look at it like, oh, that what I just said could be made to be racist. Oh, what I just did or what we just watched looked like. Look at the shows that they put on TV all the time. There's always, the military saving the world from Arab terrorists, right? Like it's always some type of, or they're going into Africa and there's a black guy who's a leader, a militia. He's, they're going to save the world from this black guy. Like there's always some enemy. There's always some,
Superman.
Yeah, they're gonna go fight the Chinese guy. So now the Chinese people are enemies. They're gonna go fight the Russians because the Russians are not enemies. Like it's built into our society that there has to be an enemy
on TV,
right? So then we start to watch these shows, and it becomes a normal. Oh my God! Now if I see an Arab on the airplane, I get scared, right? Because that's what they teach us. So we have to kind of remember that that's not true. That's what they want you to think. That's how they want you to behave. That's how they want you to act because they want you to be separate. If we're separate, they can control us. If we're separate and we're taking care of ourselves, we're not taking care of us as one ummah.
Yes.
Then how are we better than the rest of the leaders that are out there? The rest of the Muslim leaders are out there that are just watching everything that's happening. They're just like, we can't do anything.
Leaders, all the Muslim leaders, no, not Muslims.
And that's what, and I think that again, I talk to these non-Muslims and they say, well, how come these people aren't helping? How come these people? And I always have to explain to them that that's not how it is anymore. Right, and we have to start it from here, from
we are in America. We are in America.
Yeah.
We have to fix ourselves.
We have to fix ourselves before we can fix the world.
Our household to fix our community. There is no way to fix the community if I'm not fixing my own self.
Of course, and you have to fix your house.
Yeah.
Right. You start with yourself. Then you get to your house. Then you get to your community. Once you have that going on, then once you have those stages fixed up, then you'll start to see the world change.
But do you think, Brother Muhammad, really? With all my respect, do you think our household will understand what we're talking right now to fix myself, to fix my wife, her husband, my son, my daughter, my household, to go enlarge? Do you think I can do that?
You know what?
It's very important.
Yeah. It's very hard to know that, especially if you don't know that you're doing something wrong. If you don't really understand that you're doing something wrong, how can you fix the world if you don't even know that you need to be fixed? And I think that's what I would want to pass on to everybody here is really dive down deep into your family relationships. How do you talk to each other? How do you talk to your kids? What do you say in front of your kids? Right? Think twice, 3 times.
Watch your tongue.
Just watch yourself. Listen to yourself talk. Give yourself a week and see how you're talking. And then ask yourself, wait, could that be looked at as being racist? Can that be looked at as demeaning or as haram, what I just said? And then we have to kind of really do a little self-examination of how we're talking to each other and talking in our homes. Again, I think the parents and the society feels like, well, my kids are in an Islamic school. I'm good. Khalas, let them teach them. No, that's not going to happen because even the teachers sometimes have racism inside of them that they don't even know about because they grew up in the same generation that maybe I grew up in, where you stay away from that guy, you stay away from this person, you stay away from that. These people smell like this, and these people are very cheap with their money. These people are like this. No. But they're Muslims, and I think that we have to start understanding what that means to be a Muslim. Doesn't mean that I'm a black Muslim or a white Muslim or an Arab Muslim or an Indonesian Muslim. We're Muslims. And I think once we start telling our own kids that, we tell ourselves that, and we start really believing it and start to push that onto our children, the next generation will be able to really understand the real effect of what it means to be a true Muslim. And the more you say it, the more you start to believe it, the more it becomes normal. We're Muslims.
Yeah, I agree.
Right? We can't let what's going on out there and what they're saying influence us. Right now is the time that, with everything going on, with all the people converting to Islam, right now is the time to actually come together and show the world and show the people what we are and who we are. And a lot of masjids now have becoming, in a lot of cities, have been becoming more pro-Muslim. They want to learn, they want to ask, they want to see. And then I was just talking to the brother. He wants to do more outreach in the community with the masjid. I want to do it under the masjid. He says, let's do it. Let's do some outreach. Let's help the homeless. Let's help the low income. Let's help. Let's see what we can do out there, what our community needs, in order to show people, like, yeah, we're not hiding. It's not September 11th. We're not going to hide. We're Muslims. We're proud of it.
The key, brother and sister, also, whoever, sometimes the board, just a name. The board, we dictator. The majority, not all, the majority of the boards, I want to be in the board. But the key, us as the people go to the masjid, you can do something. You can do.
Yeah.
Don't worry about the board or that person. You can do it. The key, the first hadith in Bukhari and Muslim, إنما الأعمال بالنيات. Every action with the intention.
Yeah.
If your intention to build the community,
yeah,
yes, Allah will help. Allah will be with us. Don't worry about the board of that person. Start with yourself, with your family. Start, and I believe the masajid will accept it. Yes, some people against it. No. So there's no statement. No way, Jose. Yes, we can. No, we do it here. We do it there. Do not give up. Do not give up. Be optimistic. Always be optimistic.
And do everything with a smile.
Yes.
Do everything with a smile. We're talking to a board member, you're talking to a non-Muslim. Do everything with a smile, because at the end of the day, how can you argue with somebody who's smiling?
Some masajid, hard. At least outside the masjid, you can do it also. Halaqah, here, there, try. But do not sit. Do something for the sake of Allah.
And don't wait for somebody else to do it for you. Right? Take the action for yourself. If you think that, if you know that your family is set, your kids are good, you know that everything's great, you're not trying to throw any racism around, you're really self-aware of what you're saying, then let's spread that out. Right? Spread that out to, now, okay, my family's good, because now I fixed my family. My family's good. And whether it takes 6 months, 8 months, a year, you fixed your family up. Okay, now it's my turn to let's go out in the community.
Audience.
Yes, and
that's very, very important. Brother Mohammed is very important. Some people in the masajid actually sometimes negative.
Yeah.
But don't worry about that. You can change. You can do something. A lot of people come to the masjid. Oh, what does masjid do? What you do? What did what board do? What they're doing in the masjid is start yourself first to do something.
Yeah. And when you come into a masjid with that kind of attitude, you're complaining.
A lot of you complain, oh, what you did, what the masjid did, what the board. We vote, but what we did. Regardless.
Yeah.
If you ask this kind of question, ask yourself what I did, what I will do for the masjid.
Yeah. And we forget.
Very important.
Yeah, we forget. Take care of your family. Start with your kids. Start with yourself.
Yeah.
And then you move on to the community. Once the community starts to see that people are starting to become more engaged into the masjid.
Yeah, yes.
And start to become, okay, well, this brother here or this sister here is doing this, and this brother's here. Let me jump on board with that. Don't compete with each other. Join in with each other.
Okay, by the way, with all my respect, any masjid, I know some people listen to us here, masajid, any masjid making voting for a president, for voting to be a president, 2 people, 3, that completely failed. Go to Surah Shura. The masjid has to have a shura, not board members. That's really, really disgusting. I hate this.
Yeah, but I think that's more of a Western mindset. It might be like something that you have to do you have to do something on paperwork, whatever that entails. I don't care about names. I don't care about board members. I don't care about presidents, vice presidents. I don't care. Again, that's all, to me, that's all names and whatever. A masjid is a masjid. A masjid is a place for the Muslims to come to congregate to 5 times a day and talk and help each other out. A person should be going to the masjid feeling comfortable, safe, and being able to talk to your imam or be able to talk to somebody over there about the situations or about, any issues that they might have. That's what a masjid is there for.
Yes, agree.
When you see people who go into a masjid like that day when I walked into that masjid, and I felt really awkward going to the masjid. Why do I have that feeling? Right.
Yeah, very sad. Yeah,
And,
I agree.
and me as a Muslim guy, as a Muslim man, even if I'm in uniform or not in uniform, I should be able to just go into a masjid.
We welcome
and feel good.
Yes.
Right.
And
feel like I'm a Muslim. Okay, I'm amongst my people.
We're going to the house of Allah. The house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, regardless.
Yeah. But they make it feel like, you're going into a masjid for a Pakistani masjid. What are you doing here? Why are you here? This is a Pakistani masjid.
Yes.
Or you go into the other one. Well, this is an African American masjid. What are you doing here, bro? Your masjid is over there. No. This is not the way you need to talk to each other.
Agree.
We're one people. We're one Muslim. This is not your masjid. This is Allah's masjid. This is the house of Allah.
Yes, supposed to be. Prepare yourself. Have around 7 minutes left. Prepare yourself, inshallah, for a question. You have a question. Brother Mohammed, before we finish, inshallah, we need some advice here.
Mm-hmm.
So I need that advice. My wife had advice. For our community had advice. Really how to be united. How to be one family.
Mm-hmm.
How really to fix our community, our masjid, regardless the board. And talking about individual.
Mm-hmm.
How, Brother Muhammad?
Again, it goes back to who you are, right? What kind of person you are, right?
Yeah.
What kind of personality do you have? What kind of issues do you have going on within your own self?
Right? I have to judge myself.
Fix yourself up, right? Ask yourself these questions. Like, are you happy? No, I'm not happy. What's going to make you happy? What needs do you need fulfilled?
I like that.
What needs do you need to be fulfilled in order for you to be able?
Brother, finish the question later, inshallah.
No, that's not a question. I don't know. This is a commercial or something. But what do you need in order to make yourself feel like you're successful? Right? Don't define success about what the westernized mindset tells you. Success, Success is money, cars.
You like that.
We define that so hard and so much that we have to define success as what they think success is. Once you figure that out for yourself, then you can kind of spread that out to the rest of your family.
I like that.
Right? And then little by little, your wife, your kids, you start to like develop that partnership, that understanding of this is our definition of a success. Right? I don't have a huge house or a mansion or fancy cars, but I feel like I'm pretty successful, alhamdulillah. Right? You look at it in a different way of what they're trying to tell you what success is all about. And I think that's what comes down to a lot of depression, anxiety, and all that kind of stuff comes from kids and teenagers and adults looking at what's on social media, what's on the news, or what's on, what these people have, and we don't have that. And then you forget that that's not what success is. Success is how close are you to your deen? How close are you to Allah? How close are you with your family?
I like that.
And once you get that, then you trickle it down to your kids, to your wife, to your nuclear family. Then once you have your nuclear family set up, and once you guys are all good, okay, let's spread this out even more. Now let's go to our community. Now let's fix up our community. And I see that with the reverts. They're so passionate about Islam, and they want to have that unity. They want to have that that they're like, their brother, man, this is the first time I felt like I belong somewhere. Even the people who came with me to these messages, they were like, they went to the city ones and they come to the messages and they said, man, when I come to your mosques, I feel so welcomed. I feel so much love. And I said, wow, mashallah, at least you feel that, because I don't feel that, but you feel that.
It's normal for you.
Yeah, but it's not normal for them to have people, hey, come eat, hey, come drink, hey, come. And they feel that love. They feel that. I said, so give that to us. We should be giving that to each other, right? We know when we go to these messages and you're seeing a non-Muslim coming in here and you're giving them the world and you're being so nice because you're trying to do da'wah, but then you forget to do da'wah for your own brother.
For yourself first.
So you have to ask yourself, how do I build my confidence?
So I have to start with myself.
Start with yourself. Always.
Household.
And your household.
And then if you are perfect, spread.
There's no, okay, so let's make sure we understand there's no such thing as perfect.
Absolutely.
But there is, okay, I'm set. I'm okay.
I'm okay to give da'wah.
And don't be shy to say, well, I don't know. Because many times people ask me questions, these non-Muslims, when we bring them out, and I'm like, look, let me give you to an imam. Let me give you to one of our religious people that can answer these questions for you better than I can. because I'm not, I'm not a scholar. I'm not a religious leader. I tell them, come talk to this person. This is the person that you want to talk to. This is the person you want to ask questions to. And I always pray and make dua that this guy that I'm bringing him to, this imam or this person, please let you be a good guy. Be nice to this person. Answer the questions. Unfortunately, we have some people who are very negative, or their tone is not the right, and they're very aggressive when they communicate. And I don't, I don't want to call them out, but yes, they're very aggressive, and it's like that's not how you do things.
Yeah, I agree.
Please.
But we can change.
We can.
Yes,
we can.
So, any question, Sunnah followers, Sister Leila, if you are there? Norma, you're not there.
I think she's there. I think that's one thing about humans is we're very adaptable creatures.
Yeah,
we can always change when we want to change.
We can, yes, I agree.
But we're not going to change if we don't know we need to change.
Yes, then I have to start.
But you have to ask yourself, what do I need to change?
Yeah.
What's wrong with me?
Oh,
right.
I like that.
Is there something that I'm doing that's wrong that I don't know that I'm doing is wrong?
May Allah guide us.
May
Allah guide us to right path here. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make our hearts strong to His deen, Ya Rab. All right, inshallah. But then we finish, inshallah. I think there is no question here. Sister Leila is not there.
I just want to remind the parents here that your home, your walls, and wherever you are in your house, they got ears when you got children. Yeah. Children can hear everything. So when you want to discuss something that might get a little bit feisty with your mate, do it in your car or somewhere else. Don't do it at home. Because
wait till the kids are sleeping.
They want to hear.
wait till the kids are sleeping. The kids can hear you, see you, they feel you.
They hear you. Y'all know we were children at one time.
Absolutely.
Yes.
There are no questions here on Zoom.
May Allah guide us all as to right path, and may Allah protect all the Muslims, Ya Rabbi Alameen. May Allah guide us, all of us, Ya Rabbi. May Allah gather all of us with Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam in Firdaus. Ameen, ameen, ameen. Subhanak Allahumma bihamdik.